Hello and welcome back, this is ProTailDev back with another update video, and this time we're looking at Turtle Trials Frozen Chains update. So if this video is out, then most likely the Frozen Chains is coming out very soon, or is already out. The Frozen Chains update is, as it sounds, a new update and expansion to the current trials. I've mentioned it in a previous update video, and in this one we're going to kind of look at it in a little bit more detail since I haven't shown any kind of footage on it yet. The last time I talked about it was a month ago, and I said it'd be coming out about this time of year, towards the end of the year. So immediately I'm going to talk about some of the obvious changes, some of the things that people wanted. First of all, the Lost Ocean Path trial has an easier difficulty because a lot of people complained that it was a little bit too difficult on normal, and hard was quite difficult already. So easy now is much. Of course, it's going to be easier. An easier difficulty, and it's something that a lot of people wanted just to kind of be able to ease into the game. The Frozen Chains is actually going to be a much harder trial than the Lost Ocean Path. It's going to require a lot more patience. It has a unique mechanic where, unlike the previous trial where you could take your time as long as you wanted, the Frozen Chains actually has a 40 days set period where you can actually fail after the 40 days end. Basically, it kind of touches on it in a little bit of the story, but I didn't want to get too much story in this one because I kind of wanted the player to kind of make their own assumptions of the world by exploring. With this, just as the description says on the level, you are rescued from death by a spirit, and he asks you to basically help 5 spirits that have passed on. He'll go and find them and then inform you when the time is right. And then basically you'll go and do this mission. Once you've done all 5 missions that these spirits have, you'll just automatically pass the trial, and the trial will end. Obviously, if you get to the end of the 40th day and you still haven't completed those missions, then you will instantly fail and you'll die. It gets explained a little bit more in detail, but the other thing that needs to be mentioned is this map is much bigger, but more open. I kind of wanted to kind of harness that isolation aspect and the cold emptiness of where you are. So there's a lot more empty areas. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't lots to do and to specialize in. You still have your previous abilities and whatnot to be able to navigate, and you have a few other extra things to help you. So let's get straight into it. Let's go and check, and we'll go straight onto normal difficulty. Something I didn't manage to do before the update I didn't manage to before it was uploaded was to change the tips. So there's a few things that I will be changing after launch. But I'll get into that a little bit later in another update video, probably after New Year's. I'll probably do a bunch of bug fixes because there's always bugs. So once you get a few messages from our ghostly friend who asked for help after he's helped you to survive previous incident, you'll then be able to explore. And so you're on. There's going to be a bunch of new stuff in this. I believe there's 12 new biomes in this one. And bear in mind, this is the Scrooge Redemption's world, but what I've done is I've redesigned it, reimagined it in a sense, added a bunch of new stuff in because the Scrooge Redemption just had too many issues with it, so I've kind of recreated it and redesigned this level. So straight away you're going to have crafting unlocked, straight away on the island you're on, and you can create whatever you need. I don't want to show too much, I want you to kind of experience it for yourself, but you've still got the funds for charity, which allow you to upgrade. You've still got all of your basic stuff from the previous trial that have all been added into this version of this trial of Frozen Chains. Here you've got the new charity shop section where you can buy upgrades, and they're now the reward, as opposed to just funds and things that you could do before. And you'll recognise a lot of these abilities are actually some of the favourites from what people have mentioned before. Just the standard abilities and things like remote protection, increasing, having a beacon and your map and stuff. Another thing is because this map is much bigger and it has a little bit more open areas where there's not a lot, I've decided to add the minimap as automatically on the second you start this trial. So you don't have to worry about trying to unlock a minimap. The minimap is automatically unlocked straight away when you've loaded in to help you navigate. On the minimap as well, food will also have a small point which you'll be able to follow and see on the map when you get close enough, so that'll help you when certain resources are not directly on your field of view. The big thing about this though is the temperature meter. So the previous trial had the fear meter, this one has the temperature meter. Just as it sounds, when you go in the water, because we're in an icy area, we're in an Arctic area, the temperature will go down. So once it hits a certain point, which is 20%, you'll actually start freezing to death and you'll start dying, you'll start moving slower. That could be really dangerous when you're fighting enemies. Speaking of enemies, there's actually a bunch of new enemies as well, specifically for this cold area. I want you to experience that for yourself and to be able to go against those and figure out how they work. Basically, though, you've got 3 different ones. So you've still got the turtle spirit ghosts with the evil ones that are tormented, but you actually have a new enemy called the tormented, which have a unique attack which is related to the cold temperature. You also have orc whales, but they're actually much smaller variants, so they won't do as much damage and they're just kind of around to annoy you to some degree. The bite ability will help with that, obviously. So the other thing is, as you explore this world, the further up you'll go, the more harsh the environment will become, and the more dangerous the temperature will be. To help you with these temperatures, you would have noticed just then, as I went into the crafting area, we have these 3 new consumables, these new food balls that you're able to take. I've separated them out to the Arctic section, and this is the warm-up ball, the freeze ball, and the burnout ball. I'll let you explore these as well yourself and how they work, but they're going to allow you to combat the temperature and allow you to explore for much longer, and be able to get further up the map. Without them, you're probably going to struggle, but the good thing about this trial is you don't need any of the upgrades. You don't even have to focus on the upgrades to be able to complete it, unlike the objective sections for the previous trial. This trial will only need you to be able to complete the 5 missions. That means you don't have to do the get all the abilities. However, it will help you greatly. So, although I'm not showing too much right now, because I don't want to give too much away, basically this is where you're going to start. There's your crafting area, you've got your charity at the igloo, and you should be able to find your way here as you get upgrades. Kind of similar to the other trial, but also different as well. So this update should be live about now, or perhaps in a few hours, and you should be able to access it on itch.io, which is for free, and you should be able to access it on the Microsoft Store for free as well. So this has been ProTail Dev, and I'll see you next time. Have a good Christmas.